The following is a presentation of CNN Business News.
At the pinnacle of Hunter Douglas North America, it's President Jerry Fuchs.
I think every successful company has an ego, but I hope our ego never exceeds our objective, and that's for profitable growth, providing not only our personnel with a secure future, but to provide the ultimate consumer with a good product.
The curtain went up on Jerry Fuchs' career 8 years ago when he joined Hunter Douglas, a billion-dollar window covering company. As president of the North American operation, Jerry has thought a lot about the ingredients of success.
People make the business, people make it a success, or people make it a failure. And fostering good open communication and support of the personnel, I think, is the secret to success.
To his competitors, Jerry is known as the Superman of the window coverings industry, but he maintains an unassuming Clark Kent manner when dealing with people.
Hi, Joe.
Good morning, dude.
I wanted to get together to bring you up to date on Tuesday's meeting out in Houston.
And whether with his management team or his home team, Jerry plays to win.
Come on, Brian.
We'll take you to the Fuchs' estate in an exclusive community in New Jersey, far from his simple beginnings in his old neighborhood. I'm Beverly Shook in Edison, New Jersey, and on this edition of Pinnacle, you'll meet the man who keeps the Ma and Pa pride alive while managing a $500 million a year business, the president of Hunter Douglas, Jerry Fuchs. Through determination and skill, Jerry Fuchs has shed light on the window shade industry, taking his market share from 4% to 44%. Fuchs is an innovator who blends form and function. His ability to recognize consumer needs keeps him at the top of his profession. And finally, you'll meet a man who definitely does windows. Jerry Fuchs is next on Pinnacle. Hunter Douglas, a Netherlands-based company, is the world's leading window covering corporation.
George, in about 5 minutes, can we get together in the conference room?
As the North American president, Jerry Fuchs has helped the company grow from 90 employees in 1981 to 2,200 employees today. And he has spurred sales from $40 million to $400 million in 1988.
Have we sold every book?
Our first order was 20,000 books. We have sold out of books.
We have sold out everything.
Fuchs himself has matured from a super salesman and marketing maverick to a manager who knows how to maximize. How did you get involved in this particular company now?
I was recruited back in 1981. I was with Beatrice Chemical at the time, and I was recruited by a professional firm to be president of one of the Hunter Douglas divisions in the United States. It was a small, floundering division that had I thought, some wonderful opportunities, good people, good quality product, and I thought it was an opportunity to put the product and the people together with a good service approach and build upon a strong distribution.
I think the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Venetian blind, or when I was a kid and there were these bulky, heavy white things that got dusty, and I always had to dust them off. And then they sort of fell out of favor for a while. No one had them. They had shades or something else.
That's right, yeah.
How did they come back into being?
Actually, Venetian blinds were introduced back in the early 40s by the founder of Hunter Douglas, Henry Sonnenberg. Henry Sonnenberg and Joe Hunter started Hunter Douglas back in the very early 40s when Henry first came to the United States. And between the 1943, 1945, up until 1955, the Venetian blinds that you're referring to grew rapidly. In fact, in 1955, there were more than 50 million units sold.
Everyone had them.
Yeah. And about that time, Henry wanted to expand and take on more of an international flavor, and he sold the company. About a year after that, the industry in total fell. And I think in 1956, fewer than 4 million blinds were sold, so a drop of more than 45 million units from one year to another. And people, it fell out of favor with the public.
Although the product lay dormant for a couple of decades, Jerry continued to climb the corporate ladder until, in 1981, Fuchs met Hunter Douglas. Jerry, when it came down to the final interview, you were talking to the man who started the company. How did he decide that you should run the company for North America?
Well, I'm not quite sure, but that's a funny story. I had interviewed with a number of people from the Hunter Douglas group, and prior to meeting Henry Sonnenberg, who was the founder, someone said to me that for many years he was insisting that there was a device needed to market Venetian blinds, and that device would be put into a retail store and would make the blind traverse and raise and lower, and everybody thought it was sort of a foolish idea. When I met with Henry, one of the first questions he asked me is, how would we market the Venetian blind in the United States? And I said, why don't we get a little device that makes the blind go up and down? He said, you know, when can you start?
Whatever made you think you could sell Venetian blinds?
Oh, I think that there's so much more importance in the distribution than the product. If you start off with a good quality product and you're ready to provide service and a commitment to it, then the distribution is the key.
So you could sell anything?
I think so.
But you happen to have a particular feeling for this product.
Well, it's a love that I've developed, and I have a love affair with window treatments.
Why don't you try to sell me some blinds?
Okay, come on.
When Jerry isn't selling window coverings, he's inventing new ones. He's developed Duet, a patented pleated shade, and Fabret, a top-end window blind made with fabric slats. How did you get the brainchild for this?
Well, it was following the introduction of Duet, which was a phenomenal success in the United States. We talked to many consumers, and we found that the tendency to put softer window treatments on the windows was surfacing among consumers and designers alike. And we thought it would be interesting to provide a soft window treatment along with the ability to control light.
How involved in the actual process of making these materials did you become?
Probably 110% involved.
Do you think that's the way you had to do it?
It was the way I had to do it. Perhaps if you spoke to others, I shouldn't have been involved as much, but I was involved with both feet, yeah.
You were there in the laboratory while they were developing?
I was very, very excited during the development of both products, and I participated in all the areas, yeah.
How did it come about? You obviously saw a niche.
Well, we were looking for more. I think the niche, the word niche, is so commonly used in business, and I really don't look for a niche. I look for a major hole that exists in the market and try to fill that hole with a proprietary product, if possible.
Do you bring your work home?
I think I bring it home, sure. I eat and drink and sleep it.
How do you find respite from it, or do you need that?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't need it, no, because I don't find it a chore. I enjoy it, I get excited about it. I'm always hyped about it.
But Jerry, I don't know anybody that can just go on day after day, 24 hours a day of the same diet.
You just met the first one.
It's you.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. People have said to me, why don't you take a holiday or a vacation? This is my holiday and this is my vacation. It's the fun and the excitement. It's my tennis game, it's my golf game, you know, where I've chosen not to to take up hobbies. My business is my hobby. My new products are extension of my family. My customer base are my very closest friends.
With every Christmas card I buy.
Next, we'll take you inside a factory where Jerry's little helpers are preparing special orders made to fit. And we'll show you Jerry's latest innovation, arriving just in the nick of time.
And may all your Christmases be fine.
Pinnacle returns in a moment. Jerry Fuchs doesn't just sell a product, he creates an ambiance. When the curtain comes down, shutting out nature, Jerry tries to create an equally aesthetic environment indoors. Bamboo Abbott is one of almost 200 fabricators that turn Jerry's designs into blinds.
Jerry, how do you know when you've really got a hit product?
Oh, I think it's an instinct, a sense. There's a sense of excitement. But I guess the final test is with the consumer.
You said once that it takes a lot of time to put together an idea and to develop it, but that the American public really isn't too patient with an idea. You've got it, there's a sense of urgency.
Oh, there's certainly a sense of urgency. But I think what I meant was you don't sit down at a drawing board and develop a new product. It's something that's developed by an idea or a need or a feel. And a new product doesn't come along every day. Sometimes you may go along for years. We at Hunter Douglas put a great deal of emphasis in both R&D and development, and we put a lot of time and effort into the search for new products.
Jerry's latest pet project arrives with the Yuletide spirit. The self-contained fireplace is suitable for any home, any room, but there's no chimney for Santa to make his annual visit.
This is the new addition to the family. It's a self-contained fireplace that's driven on a solid fuel. It runs on one application for nearly 4 hours. It has no smoke and no toxicity and no soot.
Who's going to buy this?
Oh, anybody that doesn't have access to a chimney. If you're living on the 32nd floor of an apartment in New York City, this is a great opportunity to have a real fireplace. It provides the romance, it provides the aesthetics and the heat.
So what you're really selling here is romance.
Well, we're selling romance. We think that most folks will buy it for the romance and the aesthetics of the real fire. But at the same time, it does provide a functional heating benefit. Oh, it sure is hot.
If work is Jerry's hobby and sport, he learned the rules early in life.
I remember starting to work at a very young age and always enjoying it.
Why, how old were you when you started to work?
Oh, probably 10 or 11 years old.
Doing what?
Oh, odd jobs, working in soda shops and bowling alleys and butcher shops and the types of jobs that young people get.
Did you have to? Were you very driven as a child?
I think probably driven more than the need or the word have to, yeah.
A lot of people who are driven so hard to succeed, are driven by some negative things in their childhood, in their past. Is that what drives you?
No, I think that I'm driven day to day, and that drive comes from within. But it's the excitement of my life. It's the fun of my life.
Being the president of the North American part of the company requires a lot of broad-ranging skills. What do you think your strengths are?
I think my strengths lie within motivating people, whether those people be our employees or our customers or their customers. Getting people to recognize a sense of urgency and delivering results within a timely fashion.
And your weaknesses?
Oh boy, probably spending 20 hours a day doing that. Perhaps if I was a little brighter, I could do it in 8 hours.
How do you find a wife that puts up with your working 20 hours a day?
You're just lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
I
you-
don't know that you find anybody like that. You just have to be fortunate.
When Pinnacle returns, we'll hear about Jerry's family, his inspiration, and we'll learn how Jerry uses his business instincts to fight for prison reform. Pinnacle returns in a moment. The challenges of business and Jerry's unwavering commitment to Hunter Douglas often take him away from home for long periods.
Toss one to me. Come on, Kevin.
But little boys have a way of wresting their father's attention back to family priorities.
Do you think you've been a good father?
I think so. I hope I have been. Yeah. I sometimes think that I traveled a great deal in the past, and perhaps could have spent a little more time with them. When Brian was just a youngster, he said to me once, gee, I wish you were a garbage man. And I said, what? And he said, I wish you were a garbage man because my friend's father works for the sanitation department, and he's home by 4 o'clock.
And this dad wasn't?
Yeah, all right. That was the point he was making, yeah.
Do you have regrets now that you see your oldest son going off to school?
Yeah, occasionally I do, but I believe in my own mind that I try to do both. I try to provide, to be a good provider and a good father.
And Jeannie, has she been an at-home mother for the kids?
Always, yeah. She was an at-home mother for the kids and my strongest supporter.
How has she gotten involved in your work?
She hasn't physically gotten involved in the work at a company, but she's always had the shoulder to listen to when I came home, whether there were problems or there were happy times. She was always there to listen.
How would you describe her?
Super.
What do you do together for leisure time, just amusement, the two of you?
I think we go out to dinner quite often, and we spend a lot of time talking together, and we spend a lot of time talking about how to keep our children off the telephones. And
Have you figured out a way yet?
Yeah.
Let me know when you do.
Okay.
Has religion been an important factor in raising the children and in the family?
I think so. We certainly believe that there's a God, and I think it's an important aspect in the children's life, and I think that it's added to an understanding of principles for the kids.
What is it that you look towards and rely on when you lose a parent or you lose a sister, or the times are just dark and gloomy?
Well, I always hope that there's a better place and a better world and happiness after that.
Do you think it's harder to raise kids in the environment and atmosphere today than it was when you were growing up?
I don't know if it's harder to raise children, but I think it's a more difficult life for children. I think there's a great deal of temptations that children are subjected to that weren't necessarily around to affect my life as I was growing up. And I'm referring to drugs and alcohol and abuses like that.
And how do you think you have taught them not to, or to stay away from them, just to say no?
I think by providing them a good home life and an understanding that these are things that aren't good for them. We'll never provide them with any benefits. And cross my fingers.
As you get ready to see one son going off to college, and the other one growing up faster than you probably would like. What is it that do you start to think about what you'd like to leave them? How you'd like them to remember you?
Well, I would hope that they know and they will remember that I've always loved them and that I've always cared for them and that I would always be supportive of them.
Do you think they feel that they have your standards to live up to?
No, I think they'll establish their own standards.
Do you start to feel at some point in your life, and I don't know if it's a midlife crisis or what, that you've had success, you've had luck, you have to start giving something back?
Oh, I just saw a film clip on a morning program about a small town in Illinois that was bidding for the site of a prison for the state of Illinois. And they were very dedicated to the cause of having their town selected. And I volunteered that Hunter Douglas would support that effort by providing the tools to train prisoners in making window coverings, should that town be awarded the contract.
What's your philosophy?
Gee, I don't know that I have any philosophy. I think trying to be happy and try to get through life and make sure my family is happy and secure.
And are you happy?
Yes. Very. I'd always like to do a little more, and sometimes it bothers me that perhaps I still have a little left in me to do. Yeah.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know,
Where the treetops glisten
where the treetops glisten
and children listen.
and children listen
To
to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I bought. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be